order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the village board meeting of September 13th. Roll call, please.
Caperos,
Here.
Beecher, Giannotti,
Here.
Thierry,
Here.
Stacy,
Here.
Kraus.
Here.
You have the minutes for the last meeting in your packet. If there are no changes or additions, can we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second? There's a motion and a second. Roll call.
Would you like to vote on this motion?
Which one again?
Approving the minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Caperos,
Yes.
Beecher,
Yes.
Giannotti,
Yes.
Thierry,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address the board? Village clerk's report.
Total tax income received in the month of August is $264,703.91. That's all that I have.
Reports of village commissions, beautification commission. Matt?
Nothing to report.
Okay. 4th of July commission, trustee Kraus.
Not anything official yet. I just want to say I think it was a good fest overall. I think it was well attended, and I think everyone involved did a good job, and I can't wait to see how the numbers shake out and how they did. I think it was a great time. Weather was perfect a couple of days. Just thank everybody for that helped out, and we'll see what happens when the numbers go out.
And I'd like to add too, none of us really knew what to expect with the festival this year. It was in a weekend we weren't accustomed to, had no idea what the weather would be like. We didn't have a lot of money left from last year. We didn't have a car. Some of the commissioners go out of town for Labor Day. So it was a little bit of an unknown, but we'd like to thank the volunteers. We have new commissioners this year. We'd like to thank the commissioners. Police department kept us well protected through the fest. Fire department, paramedics were there. They had a booth. They did a great job being down there for us. And of course sponsors, but the town, I think all of us were surprised. Usually at a festival there's maybe one dead day, and we turned out with 4 days of really great attendance down there. So I think on behalf of everybody, I'd like to thank everybody in town who actually just showed up and came down to support the fest. Hopefully we will have a decent amount of money for next year to do a nice comeback year and have some special things for the 4th of July next year, barring any unforeseen circumstances.
I think there's a sort of blessing in disguise. I mean, I think you got to see what worked, what didn't work. I thought the 4th of July Commission made some tough choices on what to have and what not to have, and got lean this year, and I think it's going to pay off for them. I think it's going to be really good.
Absolutely. So, Youth Commission, trustee session.
Yeah, so Kingdom Death Parade at the 4th went well. I think there was a really good turnout. And then probably the next biggest update here will be the new commissioners that are getting voted on today. So youth commissioners really looking forward to bringing some new blood in.
Historic Preservation Commission, trustee Forrest.
Nothing to report.
All righty. So under my report, we have some appointments to Beecher Youth Commission. So if we can have a motion to appoint Kristen Tucker, Cody Killis, Jessica Smith, Kelly Weisbond, and Heba Arroyo.
So moved.
All right, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Roll call.
Kraus,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Thierry,
Yes.
Giannotti,
Yes.
Beecher,
Yes.
Caperos.
Yes.
And thank you to the new commissioners that have stepped up. Trustee Kaporis.
Consider a motion approving the treasurer's report. Donna?
The August month end for the village accounts, $2,706,448.85. The total of the commission accounts, $203,741.55. August month end in general, $960,985.51. The total of all accounts combined, $2,000,000 $1,910,190.40. The total of the commission non-AP payments for the month of August, $279,210.34. You can see the beginnings of some of the expenses for the festival. But other than that, pretty standard. If there are no questions, that ends my report.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the treasurer's report for the month prior.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Caprows,
Yes.
Possession,
Yes.
Unity,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Variance reports are enclosed for your review, and consider a motion approving the bills and payroll for the month prior. Since the board had received an asterisk, we have Goldie's Auto Body, Helsel Jefferson, HR Green, Intoximeters, Red Wing Shoes, Superior Pumping Services, and that's it. And then there is one correction that needs to be made, doing the bills. Becker's needs to be reduced by $656.11 to a total of $2618.49. And Goldie's needs to increase $656.11. There was a bill for Goldie's that actually got put into the Becker's pile, and I noticed it. So it does not affect the total of the bills. So does anyone have any questions?
It was 656 what?
$656.11.
So is that for Goldie's, is that all one vehicle then? Is that all the 2007 Impala?
Yes, one was brakes and ABS sensor.
But two different vehicles, or is this?
It's one vehicle.
Okay. So about $1,500, $1,600 and change for one vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. Were any other bids received for that work?
No.
I thought you had prices on it. I remember approving prices, you had two.
That was on the other car for the struts, the Beckers.
Any other questions on any of the bills? So again, that doesn't affect the total, so I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the bills totaling $204,216.31.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second? There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Kraus,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Unity,
Yes.
Possession,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes. Consider a motion authorizing the solicitation of proposals for a monthly installment loan in the amount of $254,000 for 120 months from the general fund. This is a formal motion, is required prior to considering loan offers. According to the attorney at our last meeting, we went ahead and approved consideration of that, but we didn't do it by a formal motion, it was just a general consensus. So I guess, according to the attorney, looking through the minutes, this will appease him, so I will go ahead and make a motion authorizing the solicitation of proposals for a monthly installment loan in the amount of $254,000 for 120 months for the general fund.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Kraus,
Yes.
Possession,
Yes.
Unity,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
That's it for me.
Trustee Giannotti?
we need to consider a proposal and a motion to award bids for the 2021 sidewalk and curb replacement program. Two proposals were received and are enclosed for the review, and then Matt's gonna explain to us, there's a little bit of discrepancy on one of them.
So J&J Newell Concrete did the Dixie Highway project for IDOT this year. They reached out to us asking us if they could be part of our next bid process. I sent them everything that was sent to the other contractors for the curb and sidewalk replacement, asking for two separate proposals due to our line items, the way that they work. We have 20,000 for sidewalks, 20,000 for curb. I ended up having to reach out to them, asking them if they were going to provide us with a proposal, and they did it using Google Earth, not actually coming out physically looking at anything. They sent it to me within an hour and a half of me reaching out to them. And then if you look at it, it says curb and gutter R&R. It shows 0 linear feet and a price of $0, right? Towards the middle, it says if only curb awarded without sidewalk, add 5,000. So I reached back out to them and said, what would we add 5,000 to if you were only awarded the curb work, because it's showing that there's already a 0 balance to start with. So what are we adding 5,000 to? Well, the gentleman that called me back said, that's a good question. I'll get back to you. And I never heard from him. So I'm not going to trace these people down for us to give them work. You know what I mean? If they're too busy. When I first reached out to them, their response was, oh, we're so busy that your email probably got lost. That's why they never gave us the proposal. Well, if our job isn't that important to you, I don't feel I don't think that we should be reaching out to them to see if they want to do work for us. They should be contacting us, So, Perino has done work for us for the past, 7, 8, 10 years-ish. They've always done great work. They came in under bid on both. The curb work is obviously roughly $6,500 under the $20,000 budget for it. But with curb work, we have to remember that there is asphalt work that has to go along with it. So I left a little bit of money, set aside for that purpose. So I'd like to see us move forward with Perino. I have to move forward with something. We're running out of time to do the concrete work and then to get the asphalt work scheduled afterwards. So that's, anybody got any questions on what I've presented there?
Didn't you just say that Newell was supposed to do 2 separate bids too?
They were, yeah.
And they just stuck it in one?
One, yep. They did it in a hurry. Like I said, I reached out to them asking if they were even going to provide us with one, and they gave it to me using Google Earth. There's no way they knew what I had painted in white paint on these sidewalk squares and whatnot, and
And Perino actually came out and measured everything?
yeah, he called me multiple times asking questions on what was going to be needed to be done, and so.
Good. So then I'm gonna make a motion to award the bid for the sidewalk and curb replacement to Perino Brothers Inc. of Crete, Illinois. The sidewalk is in the amount of $20,050, and the curbs are in the amount of $13,436.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Kraus,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Minardi,
Yes.
Possession,
Yes.
Pepperos.
Yes.
Is there any old business to come before the board?
Just two items. We have a change order coming on the splash pad, correct? Matt, you wanna explain that? Because it's gonna happen before the next meeting.
Yeah, so when we first designed the splash pad to use the existing concrete pad in Fireman's Park, it sounded like a great idea, right? It's already there, use it, branch off of that. Well, it's not ADA compliant once the splash pad goes into place. So what the George's Landscaping is proposing, I don't have a number on it yet, I can't imagine that it's going to be anything astronomical, is putting a 4 or 5 foot wide sidewalk next to, I believe south of the concrete pad that's existing, at the normal ADA grade that it needs to
And
be in
ramp
order
it up.
to ramp, to get up to the splash pad itself. So, it was either that or tear out the existing concrete pad and redo the entire area, meeting ADA compliance, and I think that's gonna be a lot more expensive, so my guess on just talking with him, I was trying to have a number for tonight, so at least we could have a discussion on it, but he wasn't in town today he was here Friday, so he knows what he's looking to do, but, actual measurements and stuff, he wasn't able to provide, but, my guesstimate on it, I don't think it'll be more than $1,000, I really don't, I mean, it's just sidewalk, it's nothing extravagant, they're already doing some excavation work as well as concrete work, so they're just gonna tie it in together, so.
Any questions on that? Okay. We have to have a TIF joint review board meeting, we're looking at either the 29th or the 30th of September. I've been told that Mr. Solomon will be submitting a formal appeal to the sprinkler requirement on his building at 614 Gould Street. That PZC hearing will either be the 23rd, 29th, or 30th, depending on quorum. I gotta make sure I got enough PZC members that can make a meeting to do that. That will be in the form of an administrative hearing, not a public hearing, so the chairman has the discretion that we recognize. Then the other thing under old business is discussion been on our October 9th event.
So, yeah, we have the band locked in. Lions has agreed to sell food as a fundraiser. Citizen Bowl has also agreed to sell, so I think Janet, Marcy, you guys were gonna work on getting the liquor license for them off premise.
Yeah, I wasn't sure who was reaching out to him to, because he needs to fill out an
Does he?
application, get a
Okay.
certificate of insurance.
We'll reach out to them then.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that, I just didn't want to duplicate efforts with that.
He
Okay.
did start the process for the insurance,
Okay,
I think.
yeah, because he has to get a license from us before he can get one from the state for that.
Yeah, and then outside of that, BYC was not interested in selling popcorn or drinks, so I've reached out to the high school to see if they have any organizations that might be interested in providing that service and making a little funds for themselves in the process. But it looks like it's coming together.
I know the Lions Club reserved pop and water, but I don't know if that was for this event or for their Halloween.
Halloween.
Is that for Halloween?
I think
Yeah,
it's
Chuck's saving
Halloween.
that for Halloween.
Okay. So, what do you want us to do, I guess, Ben, is the question. What do you need the board to do, or Public Works, I guess someone should give us a layout of how you want the park laid out for the events. We'll get everything moved out there.
Yeah, sounds good. And, I mean, probably might not be bad to have EMA there for, just a little, presence at the event. Maybe it'd be nice if we could do some sort of advertising, at least on the Facebook for the village.
So, do we have exact times? we
So
start
I think
making
we've been going
brochures?
6 to 9:30 is what we discussed with the band and everyone else.
Yeah, and then I talked to Chuck, the 4th of July Commission will let us use their light up sign that they have.
Mhm.
So we can place that in my yard again, if you guys would like to. And we can put, the event on there, I can put that out in the yard this week, just to start advertising for it.
We probably need one uniformed officer out there for the event, officer friendly, whoever. But since there's alcohol out there, we should have one person there. Okay, and then we'll get the park set up the way you want it, Ben. It's not a big deal, and I guess it's gonna be weather dependent. If we're gonna run into rain, then we'll have to use the pavilion and build a makeshift stage like real fast.
Well,
Still go off.
We left the bleachers out in front of the stage like they were set up for the 4th of July in the fall, so.
Yeah.
So the bleachers are still set up in front of the stage.
Does Acoustic Abrasion have a social media presence?
They have some presence online.
The only reason I ask is Jeanette will research it, see what kind of music they play, so we can put that on the brochure.
And I have a contact too, I can share with you that.
Okay.
Any other?
Yeah, I mean, do you have a contract with them, or do they need a
No,
deposit?
so I've reached out to them asking, they don't really do contracts,
Okay.
but I'm asking them to provide an invoice for us so that we can get a check put together for them.
Okay, a lot of times bands want cash.
So far, they have not indicated that the check wouldn't be sufficient.
Okay, that's fine.
So, I'll have to,
Because they pay their guys that night, each
Sure.
guy gets their $200, whatever it is.
yeah,
Okay.
but I'll clarify if that'll be a problem.
Does any of the board members have any questions on the event at all?
Just let us know what you need.
Cool.
All right. You got any more? That's it?
I'm done.
Okay. Any other old business to come before the board? Any new business to come before the board?
I got a couple things. We met with the chief last week, myself and trustee Terry. He's already identified some issues at the police department. One of his biggest ones is supervision. There's currently only one corporal on midnights, and he'd like to get another one on there. So I just want to get the board's opinion on it. The chief says we need it, I trust him, and it's in the budget, so it's not a budgetary matter. I mean, I think their stipend's $2,500, I know we have that in there. We would do the same process we did last time in the police commission. We'd advertise, there'd be a written test, an oral exam, and then a list would be generated. It's up to the chief to pick from that list. So if it is something he would like, I would like to give it to him. We brought him here to right the ship and make some changes. I think this is one of the first ones, and what's the board think? Do you have anything to add, trustee Terry?
No, I agree with everything that you said, and have full support with the chief. Based on our discussions that we'd all said, I agree. I think it's something that the police department would benefit from.
Do you have anything to add?
I just wanted to point out that our two youngest officers are on the midnight shift, and one of them is an officer in charge. So our two youngest officers who need supervision the most don't have a supervisor, so. And I will say the money, the $2,400 isn't really $2,400 because we actually pay an officer to be an officer in charge too, so it's significantly less than $2,400.
Yeah, it's $1, right? An hour, so if you took 2,080 hours, I mean, you're talking less than $500 additionally in the budget, and there's salaries there.
We had two corporals, but we lost one to the task force.
Yes.
Civil. And he was working nights at the time, and then he went to the task force, and that's where we lost that corporal.
Oh, and part of that is, and in the bigger picture, and we'll meet with public safety later on and discuss this, just so the board knows though. I mean, the bigger picture, what I'd like to do is, I think we should have staffing minimums for the police department. Just as a matter of bringing it up now, I would like sooner than later come up with minimum staffing for the police department. And additionally in there, you have a maximum number of supervisors. So you're allotted a minimum number of officers, and then you allow the chief to have up to so many supervisors. Like Bob said, with the corporal going to the task force, that corporal came back, we wouldn't need an extra one, so why would we have one? That's where the chief has the discretion to either appoint somebody or not fill the spot if it becomes vacant and we don't need it. But that's my goal in the near future, is to come up with something like that so the board can look at it and approve it, so we have these, so it's written down, not just if something comes up, we just try to fix it. This is what we know going forward so we can plan. Back to the corporal, any questions on that?
Okay, that's it?
Just one other thing, one of the other things that was identified is our evidence vault. I'll be quick, but the bottom line is it's probably never been audited, which is a very big no-no. The chief is getting prices to audit it, to have destruction orders done on old evidence if that's necessary. It is gonna be a cost. I believe also we have some of that in our budget we discussed, but we may have to come to the board for some funds, we don't know yet. But it's something we have to do, or it could turn out to be very bad. So as long as we have a new chief, he's identified it, he'll get the prices, we'll get something right now, either the next meeting or the meeting after, and get that squared away so it's done properly.
And the price also is to maintain it as well.
Yes. And that's all I have.
Alrighty. There is no need for executive session, so Are we gonna adjourn the meeting and come back for spring break? Okay. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, roll call.
Who seconded?
Joe.
Caprows,
Yes.
Possession,
Yes.
Donati,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.